All right, brother. Let's talk Evil Dead 2. Let's just jump right into it, man. Evil Dead 2, written and directed again by Sam Raimi. I think they really found their footing with this one. They really hit their stride with this one, with Sam and Bruce. It does have more of a comedy feel to it, but I love it. You know, Bruce Campbell's so great with his physical comedy, his overall just general comedy, man. And but at the same time, you know, it still retains a lot of the horrifying aspects and over the top gore that the first one had. You know, I fucking love this one, man. Even though, bro, like what the first 15, 20, 30 minutes of the movie is basically a remake of the first one. It still works, you know, it still works. So yeah, man, Evil Dead 2, dude. It's a fantastically good time. I love it. I haven't seen it in a while, but I do need to rewatch it. So that's my take on it, man. Let me know how you feel about this.
I watched it recently on this VHS right here from the film fest. And
VHS people. He said VHS, not DVD. Classic.
so Bruce Campbell's physicality in this movie is off the charts. He's such a great physical comedic actor.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the scene where he's smashing plates on himself and flipping himself is all real, and he does it so well. It's incredible.
Yeah, no
And this
stunt
is
doubles, right?
yeah, I don't. I'm sure he had a stunt double, I'm sure, but he did so much of that himself, and I think it's really cool that this is just Sam Raimi with a bigger budget, and he has Greg
Yeah.
Nicotero of Walking Dead fame doing the makeup effects, and he's got his brother Ted Raimi and all these prosthetics, and it's such a fun movie. It's just a blast.
Yeah, the creature that Ted plays is fucking disgusting, dude. I love it. It actually
Yeah,
terrified the shit out of me when I was a kid.
he is pretty terrifying. Yeah. And this is like the 80s Evil Dead movie because the first Evil Dead movie it was really mostly shot in the 70s, even though it came out like early 80. Uh, and then this is the 80s one, and then I'd like to think of Army of Darkness as really being the 90s one.
Yeah. Yeah. And this was like the heyday of horror films. This is 87. So yeah, Halloween, Friday, Nightmare, all that was going on at this time. So for
Yeah.
them to do this and stand out the way they did, it's a testament to these guys, man. These guys are fucking geniuses.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy how even in between Evil Dead 1 and 2, Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, they were still kind of struggling to get work. And there was several years in between, and between this and there was a few years between this and Dark Man, and then Army of Darkness, and then the 90s is when it didn't. Sam Raimi's career didn't really take off until the 90s when the Evil Dead movies, the first two, started getting a cult following. So it's kind
Yeah.
of crazy to think about it that way.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Did Sam Raimi do anything in between the first and second movie? Because that's like 6 years.
They did something. I think it was called Crime Wave. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Bruce Campbell talks about it in his book, and it wasn't the best experience for them. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's plenty more we can talk about that correlates more with Army of Darkness when we get there. But yeah,
Yeah, we'll get there. How do you feel about the because I don't really know what the issue was, why they kind of remade like the first portion of this movie is basically a remake of the first movie. I still really don't know why they did that. You have any idea why they did that?
I think the whole first two movies are really, I mean, really, the trilogy is really supposed to be a big fever dream, not to indicate that it didn't actually happen in the mythology, but it's
I
supposed
gotcha.
to be it's supposed to be like yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's just one of those things. I always thought of it as a stylistic choice. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really have a straight up answer for you.
Yeah. Well, no. I was just curious. I didn't know if it was like a rights thing or if it was like a studio thing. I just wasn't sure. So, but either
Yeah,
way, you know,
there's just a method to the madness, I suppose.
oh yeah, for sure. Either way, man, this is such a fun movie. You know, I have such a good time watching it. It's just so brilliant in many ways. That's that scene where Bruce is basically just going ape shit, you know, laughing to the camera. You know, there's just so much genius in this movie. I think, like I said before, I think this is the best one in the series. You know, in my personal opinion, I don't know how you feel about it, but yeah, man, I think this is the timeless movie that'll always live on. You know, as a staple of horror. You know.
Absolutely. My favorite shot in this movie, there's a 360 shot that goes around Bruce Campbell when he's sitting outside the cabin early on in the movie. And that just
Oh yeah,
sets
yeah,
up
yeah.
the entire environment, the entire atmosphere. And that's just a really great example of world building, that cabin in the woods. And yeah, this movie's brilliant. It's genius.
100%, dude. Love the takes on that. But yeah, that's Evil Dead 2, man. We can wrap this up and move on to Army of Darkness next. That's I got a lot of fun memories about that movie, but we'll
That'll
get
be
into
fun.
that later, man. Thanks for joining me on these two, man. We'll be back for Army of Darkness and eventually the remake, reboot, whatever the fuck you want to call that one. What would you call that one? Remake?
I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, something
We'll
like
get
that.
there.
Remake. I'll call it a reboot. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. But in the meantime, let me know what you think of Evil Dead 2. And thanks for joining me, brother. We will see y'all later.